Prefatory Note, Introduction, and Proem to the Sonnets of Michelangelo Buonarroti and Tommaso Campanella. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Mary J. The Sonnets of Michelangelo Buonarroti and Tommaso Campanella, translated by John Addington Symonds. Prefatory Note. 2 SFA. After some deliberation, and at the risk of offending the sensibility of scholars, I have adopted the Old English spelling of Michelangelo's name, feeling that no orthographical accuracy can outweigh the associations implied in that familiar title. Michelangelo has a place among the highest, with Homer and Titian, with Virgil and Petrarch, with Raphael and Paul. Nor do I imagine that any alteration for the better would be effected by substituting for these time-honored names Homeros and Tiziano, Virgilius and Petrarca, Raffaello and Paulus. I wish here to express my heartiest thanks to Signore Pasquale Villari for valuable assistance kindly rendered in the interpretation of some difficult passages of Campanella, and to Signore V. de Tivoli for calling my attention to the sonnet of Michelangelo deciphered by him on the back of a drawing in the Taylor Gallery at Oxford. Portions both of the introduction and the translations forming this volume have already appeared in the Contemporary Review and the Cornhill Magazine. Davos Platz, December 1877. Introduction. 1. It is with diffidence that I offer a translation of Michelangelo's sonnets, for the first time completely rendered into English rhyme, and that I venture on a version of Campanella's philosophical poems. My excuse, if I can plead any for so bold an attempt, may be found in this, that, so far as I am aware, no other English writer has dealt with Michelangelo's verses since the publication of his autograph, while Campanella's sonnets have hitherto been almost utterly unknown. Something must be said to justify the issue of poems so dissimilar in a single volume. Michelangelo and Campanella represent widely sundered, though almost contemporaneous, movements in the evolution of the Italian genius. Michelangelo was essentially an artist, living in the prime of the Renaissance. Campanella was a philosopher, born when the Counter-Reformation was doing all it could to blight the free thought of the 16th century, and when the modern spirit of exact inquiry, in a few philosophical martyrs, was opening a new stage for European science. The one devoted all his mental energies to the realization of beauty, the other strove to ascertain truth. The one clung to Ficino's dream of Platonising Christianity, the other constructed for himself a new theology, founded on the conception of God immanent in nature. Michelangelo expressed the aspirations of a solitary life dedicated to the service of art, at a time when art received the suffrage and the admiration of all Italy. Campanella gave utterance to a spirit, exiled and isolated, misunderstood by those with whom he lived, at a moment when philosophy was hunted down as heresy and imprisoned as treason to the public weal. The marks of this difference in the external and internal circumstances of the two poets might be multiplied indefinitely, yet they had much in common. Both stood above their age, and in a sense aloof from it. Both approached poetry in the spirit of thinkers bent upon extricating themselves from the trivialities of contemporary literature. The sonnets of both alike are contributions to philosophical poetry in an age when the Italians had lost their ancient manliness and energy. Both were united by the ties of study and affection to the greatest singer of their nation, Dante, at a time when Petrarch, thrice deluded and emasculated, was the Phoebus of academies and coteries. This common antagonism to the degenerate genius of Italian literature is the link which binds Michelangelo, the veteran giant of the Renaissance, to Campanella, the audacious Titan of the modern age. 2. My translation of Michelangelo's sonnets has been made from Signor Cesare Guasti's edition of the autograph, first given to the world in 1863. This masterpiece of laborious and minute scholarship is based upon a collation of the various manuscripts preserved in the Casa Buonarroti at Florence, with the Vatican and other codices. It adheres to the original orthography of Michelangelo and omits no fragment of his indubitable compositions. Signor Guasti prefaces the text he has so carefully prepared with a discourse upon the poetry of Michelangelo and a description of the manuscripts. To the poems themselves he adds a prose paraphrase, and prints upon the same page with each composition the version published by Michelangelo Buonarroti in 1623. Before the publication of this volume, all studies of Michelangelo's poetry, all translations made of it, and all hypotheses deduced from the sculptor's verse in explanation of his theory or his practice as an artist, were based upon the edition of 1623. It will not be superfluous to describe what that edition was, and how its text differed from that now given to the light, in order that the relation of my own English version to those which have preceded it may be
Sample complete. Ready to continue?